So what is truly pleasurable about botanical inks is that for me they carry the calming memory of surviving the pandemic while using them to paint things, and they continue to do that job, do that very specific function while the world currently still feels like it's on fire. So I'm Sudha Palepu. I'm a designer by training and profession even. Apart from doing the whole design thing that pays the bills, I work with natural colors. It was the first weekend of the pandemic and there was nothing much to do but absorb how the world was changing around. And one of the ways of coping with that was for me to draw and paint. And I had all my drawings and all my materials laid out on my table. And I was painting, had my inks, brushes, everything. And while I was doing that, I turned around and accidentally knocked over the only bottle of red ink that I had, and it was all over the floor. It was all over my hands. And and that sort of sent me down this bit of a spiral of trying to make my own ink, because that was when I spilt it, that was the end of it. This was during the pandemic, could not get any more inks from anywhere. Most shops were shut, couldn't deliver anything home for the fear of bringing the virus home. So I called some of my textile design friends and asked them for their expertise in drawing colors from nature, particularly because India has this rich heritage of drawing colors from nature, dyeing fabric with it, wearing it, washing it, having the color stay for a really long time. So I thought surely I can do something with the flowers and leaves that are around me to get enough ink-ish thing to paint with. I started this in LA, where I was doing a one-year internship at a museum in LA. My entire time there, as much as I was working with onion skins, with black bean skins soaked in water, there was spinach. There were also leaves from the neighborhood, so there were a lot of bougainvillea growing around the neighborhood. Used a whole bunch of things, but couldn't find red that would stay long enough. And I did the research, found out about Manjistha roots, which is also called madder, but it's Manjistha. So like any plant, there are multiple species of it. In India, the one that grows is called Manjistha, and it's been used forever. This is the bark from the small-leaved mahogany. So this is the outermost layer. Yeah. But the inside of it was, yeah, it gave me a sense like, this possibly has enough tannins for me to extract color from. And all you need to do is just put it in some hot water. Actually, if you see, it's beginning to give that slight, very light color. But this has to go on for about 15 minutes. Certain botanicals, you can't put them on high. You have to simmer them in as little heat as possible. Some of them you don't even need heat. You just let it sit in water and it'll release the color. To this, I add, like I have my reagents here. This is alum. This is sodium carbonate. Basically, alum is a mordant, and it, in certain proportions, a solution of this put into a dye followed by an alkaline will precipitate it to form a pigment, which can then be caught into filter paper like that and dried out. So this is Manjistha. And these are called lake pigments. And it's actually a European method of making pigment. So this is the dried part. So from an ink like that, it can be dried. And this you can mix with either gum arabic to make watercolor or with oils to make an oil paint. So in terms of collecting outdoors, I have kept myself from collecting too much from parks because I have to say I am a little conscious of getting yelled at by guards. But I find it's actually easier to walk down a neighborhood street and look at what is growing around. So which is where places like Sanjay Nagar, Cooktown actually have a lot of unique trees that give color, that are traditionally known as sources of color. For example, in Cooktown, Wheeler Road has these series of what are called anato trees, which give they have these pods that give orangish color, which is what I used in the artworks that I made for Shiva. The pleasure of making these inks is not just in the end result, whether one does it like this or make them in water or any medium. It's the process. There's a discovery to it. A lot of flowers are reddish, a lot of berries are red or blue or whatever color. There is no guarantee that it will give you the same color when you extract it through whatever process you do. There is no guarantee that after extracting, when you paint it and let it dry, that the color will stay that way for too long. So you're building a relation with the color in a way. You're making friends with it. And once you get familiar enough and then start using it, is when you discover all the variety of ways that you can put it to use, and there is the sense of giving the color gets meaning from you, is what I have figured over a period of time. It becomes fairly subjective. It might look like a certain palette to someone who's not gone through the process of making it, but when you go about extracting colors, like I was saying, from different sources, you can bring about from different natural sources, you can make a whole palette and they look like they all belong to each other. You've gone through a process with them and then you start using them, and yeah, it's like you make friends and now you have a group of friends. And when I paint with it, I'm not just deploying color onto paper with a brush. I'm having a party.